What about appearance discrimination? Do you think appearance discrimination exists in our society? Well, let us talk about appearance discrimination for a few minutes. Lookism and look phobia can be a real challenge for companies and managers who are recruiting, attracting, interviewing, hiring, appraising, and promoting employees in the modern workplace. Think about this statement in whether appearance discrimination is real. Is appearance discrimination real, and is it illegal? So you think about this statement that is on the screen. A lot of people don't belong in our clothes, and they can belong. Are we exclusionary? Absolutely. So what does it mean to exclude people? Are you excluding people because of their gender, because of their skin color, because of their age, because of their religion? Well, if you are, then it would be illegal according to the American laws. Appearance is part of a person's nonverbal communication, and appearance is tied directly to attractiveness, or the perception of attractiveness based on society's standards. What does an attractive person look like to you? Does an attractive person look young, older? Does he or she look African, Asian, white, Canadian, European, Latin? What does this person look like? So again, we have to be very, very careful how we interpret attractiveness when it comes to hiring decisions, because we might be committing illegal acts and we might be discriminating against individuals. Appearance and good looks seems to impact the overall evaluation of teachers, for example. Good-looking actors hired to teach the same subject as the regular teachers were rated as more intelligent and smarter teachers than the actual teachers by students. So people who are considered to be good-looking are evaluated more positively in society, even though they're not any smarter than anybody else in society. Physical attractiveness is a prized position, especially in the American society. According to James, several positive qualities such as happiness and success are associated with attractiveness. Corbett underscores that at the beginning of 21st century, American society was obsessed with physical appearance. And Corbett also mentions that appearance matters in our society today more than it ever has before. Our society is obsessed with appearance, another researcher mentioned. Physically attractive job applicants apparently benefit financially from this unearned privilege of being perceived as attractive. Over a lifetime, attractive American workers on average make about $230,000 US more than their very plain-looking coworkers. Many companies are now intentionally taking an aggressive approach to developing an attractive sales force. And as such, they are openly seeking workers who are pretty, handsome, good-looking, and even considered sexy by the general society. So these companies have to be very careful in terms of who they hire, because if they're only hiring either all white workforce or either all black workforce or in all Latin workforce or in all young workforce, they might be discriminating against other individuals, and the laws will penalize them in the US. So they have to be very careful how their decisions impact different groups of individuals based on their age, based on their religion, based on their looks, according to the US laws. Many prefer to hire those who are known as brand representatives, who look great and who will serve as ambassadors of their brand. Some firms have had the brand of the classic American in preppy-looking style, which could be problematic if the company prefers young, white, blonde-haired, and blue-eyed applicants, but discriminates against minority applicants, whether they are Latin, Indian, African American, or from any other ethnicity from foreign environments, whether they would be considered minority in the U.S. population. So be cautious. Appearance, let alone attractiveness or the lack thereof, is not a protected category, though. Consequently, it's not necessarily illegal to discriminate based on appearance by hiring only attractive people. If an appearance-based case can be connected to race or color discrimination, then the employee may have a viable civil rights lawsuit in the United States. Some plaintiffs have successfully pursued claims under then existing laws if the appearance-based discrimination could be characterized as race-based. These plaintiffs only succeeded when the attractive look the employer was seeking was not just pretty, but pretty and white. According to the research by James, it is concluded that appearance policies can be tied to race discrimination when the policies involve race-linked or race-specific physical traits. Skin tone and facial hair would be examples of a possible race linkage. For example, in one California appeals court case in 2003, a male executive's order to a manager to fire a female employee because the employee was not sufficiently good looking enough and not hot enough to sell perfume was deemed to be illegal sex discrimination when no similar attractiveness standards were applied to male employees. Women cannot and should not be subject to different and more severe and burdensome appearance requirements than male employees in the workplace. As explained by Corbett, if an employer discriminates on the basis of wanting a certain look, and that look is young or white or American, then the discrimination is illegal under the existing employment discrimination laws. If appearance discrimination can be connected to national origin discrimination, then the aggrieved employee can have a viable civil rights lawsuit. An employer may be able to discriminate in hiring by preferring motivated job applicants, but if the motivation standard results in hiring only young employees from one specific gender or race, then the employer could be sued for discrimination as well. So the implication for you and I as professionals, as colleagues, and as managers would be that discriminatory intent, motivation, and animus, as well as harassment and hostility, can be derived from degrading and disrespectful code words, terms, and stereotyped remarks. Remember that prevention is better than asking for forgiveness. So provide training about business ethics, about discriminatory practices, about the legal laws that everybody should be aware of and abide by, and about high standards in the values that your company would like to adhere to. Train all your employees, this way they can prevent wrongdoing. This way your employees, your managers, and your organization can have a good corporate culture where every stakeholder is proud of being associated with it. As mentioned by Mark Twain, travel is fatal to prejudice and bigotry and narrow-mindedness. So have an open mind. Do travel, but regardless of where you are, hopefully you treat everybody with respect and dignity that each person as a human being deserves. Remember to encourage inclusion as opposed to exclusion. Unfortunately, we see many organizations have this culture of exclusion, or individuals who are different from the majority are being excluded from relevant decisions or opportunities. So we need to move on to a culture of tolerance, awareness and sensitivity, a pluralism, and eventually aim for having an inclusive work culture in any department, in any organization, in any team. All managers and human resource professionals have a responsibility of creating an inclusive workplace for everyone by regularly auditing their firms on various diversity dimensions. Managers must create a workplace that accommodates people of all backgrounds and abilities so long as they can perform the job. So business ethics, morality, legality means inclusion, in creating a workplace where everybody can be who they are and who can contribute regardless of their gender, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their age, regardless of their sexual orientation, and regardless of their religion. So include everyone in the decisions that impact them and the organization. An inclusive work culture displays a balanced distribution of diverse staff in all departments. An inclusive environment encourages success based upon individual effort in team performance, and not premised on the mere personal preferences of managers, coworkers, clients, and or customers, which preferences could be rooted in impermissible biases and stereotypes that they learned during their socialization years based on what the majority was basically circulating among themselves. In other words, prejudices and biases have no place in your decisions that impact others in your department, in your organization, and in society in general. Code words can be linked to illegal discrimination. So managers and employers must be very careful, since code words can be tied to the American laws, which can lead to lawsuits and bankruptcies for some corporations. Remember to be fair in legal and your management decisions. Remember to exercise ethical behaviors in all cases. It's through a consistent application of being fair, legal, and ethical that your muscles develop stronger, and you will be seen as a person with strong integrity, with honesty, with compassion, and being fair and impartial in all your decisions. So avoid all forms of discrimination and harassment in your workplace at all times. And remember that ethical behavior is a skill. So please evaluate and improve your ethical muscles every single day when you're making decisions regarding your employees, your colleagues, and your organization. Good luck.